Captain Paul from TSP. We bring a lot of hot takes and cold truths, and this video will unfortunately be full of cold truths. I have to start this video asking a question. Would you put the success of your business before the safety of minors? I believe most rational adults would protect their community without a second thought. Unfortunately, there's a small percentage of people that only think of themselves and wouldn't think of the ramifications. It seems LeagueGaming.com falls into the latter. For those that don't know, let me explain what LeagueGaming is. LG is a website that hosts 6v6 online NHL matches. People sign up into the website and go into a bidding pool. People of all different ages and backgrounds end up playing together on teams on this website. This is a community that a lot of Sixes players compete on. A lot of adults and minors play on this website with the objective to win a virtual championship. After that synopsis, let's get into the ineptness from LG protecting minors from child predators. A user on the website called TDEC was participating in their website's leagues. That isn't where they are in the wrong though. No one can blame them for not knowing of his status as a child sex offender. They ended up eventually banning him, which was the correct action. Where they failed the community was not informing and making a public statement regarding his status of a child sex offender. This is inherently damaging because he was playing with minors on this league. Those minors would have had zero knowledge of his past, and that could have potentially led to extremely dangerous situations. Listen, everyone makes mistakes and they should be able to learn from them and grow. Now, an adult should know the responsibility of informing a community regarding a child predator status, but sometimes people aren't developed socially to understand that social contract when it comes to protecting children from predators. What is absolutely unforgivable is Brody McDonald, aka LG McDonald's, response on this situation. Instead of acknowledging that he made a mistake, he double and triples down on his lack of action. Don't just take my word on it. Let's quote the man himself. This is an answer to the question regarding protecting the community at large. McDonald said, and I quote, "I would disagree. Our responsibility was our players. By removing him, we handled it." McDonald, even earlier within that group chat, said, and I quote, "I'm failing to see the point being made or what wrongdoing occurred." Let me read that quote again. I am failing to see the point being made or what wrongdoing occurred? You don't understand that the point that is being made or what wrongdoing occurred? You don't realizing that announcing a child predator within a community is paramount? Now, I would usually give someone the benefit of the doubt, but LG McDonald constantly talks about accountability and responsibility. This ignorance regarding a very basic social contract is disingenuous at best. There is also the fact that they already handled a situation in which a player by the gamertag PTP was sending explicit messages to minors. They ended up banning him and also making a public announcement regarding his actions about preying on kids. This allowed the community to know the kind of person PTP was and make sure to keep minors safe. The only difference between these cases would be that PTP was an esports player that was in money tournaments. TDEC would have had far more reach and access to minors due to the free-to-play leagues. These free-to-play leagues have more minors in them. So now I have to ask the question, do the safety of minors only become important when sponsors are at risk? It seems money and the loss of sponsorships were the main reason for PTP's banning and public announcement, when in all honesty, TDEC would have been in a far greater situation to harm children. LeagueGaming has failed to protect children and seems to only care about the money and the sponsors. They put the safety of children behind money, which is disheartening and disappointing. I couldn't imagine being so blind and ignorant not to make sure that this great NHL community was a safe space for kids to participate in these leagues. This is what I think should happen going forward with LeagueGaming to address the lack of action to protect minors. Brody McDonald, aka LG McDonald, should resign from his position on LG. He clearly doesn't have the correct temperament or morality to make LG a safe space. His lack of integrity and accountability has left a black eye on LG and the Sixes community as a whole. Youngbuck, the commissioner of the CHL, should also be fired from his position. He acknowledged this happened over 15 months ago and yet did nothing to protect kids. His lack of integrity to stand up for what is right and him just towing a company line means he puts his status in LG, a virtual website, above the safety of children. The CHL is the largest league that has hundreds of minors in it. Having someone who can't take this issue seriously doesn't deserve to be in a position of power. Vassetti, the deputy commissioner of the CHL, should be removed from his position as well. Vassetti was the only one out of these three, to be fair, that acknowledged this should be publicly posted. He said he should have reached out to Tris, the website owner, and Brody McDonald about having a public statement. That being said, as someone in a position of power, he could have done far more to make sure people know T-Deck's status. Instead of lording his knowledge of a predator playing in a different league, which these screenshots will all be down below in the description, he should have just reached out to that league in question, the UHL, to make sure all 6's leagues are a safe space for kids to play their virtual career. It isn't about lording it over another, having some dirt on another league. Clout shouldn't come over the safety of children. That should become the most important thing in hand. To wrap up this video, I will share my thoughts. The NHL community is one of the best things to be a part of. These video games allow kids and adults alike to live out the fantasy of being a professional hockey player. This is something that we all dream up when we go to the rink or when we are going to the pond. There is so much good in this community, and the Sixes allows for everyone of all ages to have a fun experience. I would never put money, sponsors, and my website before the well-being of children. As someone who has coached kids of all different ages, LG's lack of action is troubling. We need to make sure to prevent any kind of dangerous situations for kids on these websites. Your obligation to the community is to inform them of any threat to it. LeagueGaming failed their moral obligation to keep kids safe. That is the worst offense you can have. To wrap this up, I'm Captain Paul from TSP. This is a video full of cold truths, and I'm looking forward to better days. As I said before, all screenshots of information will be down below in the comment section, and I truly have to ask, is it that difficult to put the safety of children before anything superficial? I'll see you in the next one.